Hello and welcome to another episode of What Do I Know? Or What Do I Know? I'll let you choose. Today's topic that we're going to be talking about is intuition. The email that I chose came from a new friend of mine, Brian. I handed out my card to Brian at a rooftop bar after having a conversation, and this is what he wrote. Steph, you refer to yourself as super intuitive and that you could read my energy. A lot of people, especially coaches, refer to themselves as that. What's the craze and can I learn to be intuitive? Thanks, Brian. You're welcome, Brian. All right, let's talk intuition. What I mean when I say that I can pick up on people's energies is that I'm super sensitive. So if you're having a bad day or if you're happy and you're hiding it, I will pick up on your energy. When people tell you that they're intuitive, if they're a life coach or somebody in the field of helping people, whether it be psychology, life coaching, any form of motivational type of role, and they say they're intuitive, it just means that they're very perceptive and can actually feel what you're putting out and maybe decipher it a little bit better than you can decipher it yourself because they're a little bit more in tune with that. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that there are intuitive people out there and then there are not intuitive people out there. And it drives me crazy because I feel like society has just completely gotten away from looking within. It's like, I need to make a decision. What can I Google? Who can I ask? Who can I call? What TV show can I watch? Like when really the answers are in here. But we've completely lost touch with this navigational tool that we have right here that's like one of the best tools you can use in life. And I think it's because we've needed to get validation externally to such a degree that we have forgotten to trust ourselves. And I think at the same time, we really feed each other a lot of bullshit. You know, like how many times have you found yourself creating a story as to why you can't do something or why you can't accomplish something? And here, at the end of the day, deep down, that's not the truth. But that's what you have in your head, and there's this like huge disconnect. So you go out and you pay money, and rightfully so, because let me tell you, I know some very, very talented, intuitive people, and these people come in and they tell you what you really already know, but you just can't access. The thing with intuition is that it's always there, but it's like a muscle. You kind of got to build it up. You can't just tap into it and expect it to work. It's a relationship. And let me tell you, it's also buried under layers and layers and layers of bullshit and external validation that you've just built up upon it to where it might take some breaking through, some serious masonry work to get back down to it. So there's two exercises that I'd like to share with you that's going to help you start to tune in to your intuition, okay? The first one is I want you to sit down anywhere where it's quiet, where you can just be. And I want you to think of an activity that you know you don't like doing, not one you question. Like if you really don't like to go running, that's a pretty given one for a lot of people. If you don't like running, I want you to sit there and think about the fact that you're now going to go put on running shoes and go outside and you are going to go running. And I want you to see how it feels. It's almost like right here in your stomach is going to start to clench. Now I'm going to tell you don't do this with food because if something grosses you out or if you don't like something, your stomach is going to react too. And while your stomach is part of your intuition, I really want you to feel the deep, deep down intuitive muscles in your body. So let's keep food out of the example. So, okay, so you're gonna go and you're gonna think about running and you're gonna feel this, it's like a balloon, okay? It's the best way I can describe it. It's gonna start to shrink. It's gonna kind of get tight and it's just gonna feel not like a knot, but you're just gonna feel a bit of a compression, all right? And just sit in that and really feel it. And then when you're done doing that, I want you to think about something that just brings you so much joy. For me, I love going to the movies, especially if it's like a genre that I personally love to act in. I can't get enough of going to the movies. So think of something that would just bring you so much joy to go do. And don't worry about whether you should do it or anything, or if it's a probability. Could it come true? Could it not come true? Don't give yourself an example with an attachment to any form of reality in your head if it's attainable. Just think of something fun. And I want you to think about it. I want you to feel that balloon just start to kind of expand. And I don't mean expand as a pressure, but it kind of just starts to feel like it's floating, like it's lighter. That muscle can be used any time of the day if you are not sure how you feel about something, or if you have 2 job offers. Because let me tell you what happens, all right, because I do this all the time. All right, you've got 2 job offers. I should take this one because it's more money and I don't know, it's more stable and it just makes more sense and I have more experience. But this one, I don't know, it's kind of a shot in the dark and I don't know if I'm gonna like it. And all that's going on right now is your head is just backfiring, full of just limiting beliefs and fears and analysis and paralysis by analysis, and you're going to give yourself a headache and you're going to give yourself stress, anxiety, whatever else comes with it, when that doesn't need to happen. Because see, this brain right here, while it's great for solving math problems, it also loves to get in the way. And when your body knows the answer already, so don't always worry about what makes the most sense. Ask your intuition. Sit down, think of those 2 jobs, but you have to keep the fear. Can you do it? Will you make enough money? All of that has to be aside. You have to think about yourself in that job, doing that job without any fears or limiting beliefs. Just envision it and see how you feel. Does your balloon kind of contract or does it expand? Because what I haven't even gone into yet is that your body has its own little psychic abilities sometimes. And the things that you get guided to don't always make sense up front. I mean, how many times have you gone somewhere or done something and it didn't always make sense, but you did it, but then 2 years later you look back and you're like, wow, I see exactly how that unfolded. And wow, that wasn't by chance. That was whatever you believe in. Doesn't matter. These videos are not about religion, but whatever you believe in, working its magic. Well, how do you think like it helps work your magic? It's that gut. It's when you walk by the TV. Like my mom, she once walked by the TV and saw a commercial about a medical school for doing phlebotomy, and something right here just said, I gotta go do that. It didn't make sense, she didn't know why, but she just felt very compelled. That was one of those exaggerating circumstances where it was like the universe went, bonk, go do that. But you don't get that in every day because your head's in the way. We have so much going on that you can't always hear. But if you just trust and go with it, and go with what expands versus what contracts, you'll be able to look back and see the reason why, because it might not always be visible to you at the time that you have to make the decision. That's why people say trust your intuition. And we all have it. And it's like a muscle. You can hone it and you can grow it. And it can get to the point where you can even be like that. And it can be that quick, that fast, in public, in private, with any decision that you can make in your life. And now that I know that I told you not to even bring food into this, you can actually figure out if you find yourself having food sensitivities, you don't even have to do an elimination diet. Just think about the food before you eat it and see how it makes your stomach feel. Does it expand or contract? Because your body is going to tell you whether it likes it or not. There's so many things you can play with on this earth when it comes to your intuition. But we're afraid and we want to know the answers and we want to see the results. And we ignore our intuition because we have to know how everything's going to work out. Because we need to be in control. When in reality, nobody on this earth is in control of anything. Even the most safe and secure job can be taken away from you at any given moment. You will never, ever fully control your experience here on earth. But you've got this roadmap that can guide you. And if you trust it, it's not going to steer you wrong. And the more you get to know it and the stronger it grows, the more you're going to be able to pick it up in other people. And that's why when you meet people who say they're very intuitive, it's just they've been at the intuition gym and they've been lifting those weights and they've been working out their intuition. Guess what? You can too, and you don't even need to break a sweat. You don't even need to put on yoga pants. You don't need to buy a gym membership to work out your intuition. And it's so much fun to play with. And the thing though, that I can tell you is there's going to be times where it expands and that's not the option that your head wants you to go with. But I can promise you, eventually you'll look backwards and see exactly why. So I encourage all of you guys to go out there and play with your intuition. Now, I know that there are going to be some people that go, I don't feel anything. It doesn't contract. It doesn't expand. Mine doesn't work. It's broken. Okay, fine. No big deal. Let's play with a backup test, okay? Now, the thing I love about this test is it's just as accurate and forthcoming as learning how your intuition feels in your gut. All right? But it's also the no bullshit meter for me, because anytime I don't want to be honest with myself, here and here, this will be honest for me. And so what I want you to do is I want you to make 2 circles like this, okay? And I want you to lock them together like this, all right? Oh, sorry, like this. I want you to lock them together just like that, so that the openings are like that. And I want you to ask yourself a question where you know the answer is yes, okay? Do I blah, blah, blah? Do I love going to the movies? And then I want you to pull them apart, all right? Try to pull them apart. And they're not going to pull apart because I love going to the movies. This isn't going to happen, all right? Now, I do not like running. So the examples I give you are kind of true. Now, if I said, do I like running? I can tell you right now, I will be able to break this, all right? Even if I try not to, I feel it slipping and this hand's gonna win. I don't have it in me to keep this tight enough and pull my right hand through. And I usually find that if you're right or left-handed, that's the one that'll break through. But when I love going to the movies, I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna let it go. And here's why. And I know it sounds like, well, that doesn't work, you can manipulate it. No. Because when you have something to lose, your ego is involved. And that's the strength that keeps it bound. I love going to the movies. That is a truth. If I pulled it apart because I didn't like going to the movies, then that takes away from part of who I am. And these arms are who I am. They're a part of me. So they're not going to break their bond. But I don't like running, and if I try to even pretend to like running, I'm not going to be real with myself. I promise you, it's just a matter of time, and this is going to break. And it happens every single time. So when you're in a situation, and you know that you have to be honest with yourself, but you might not be, because I know that I should love to run and break a sweat and burn calories, and you know, I could just see myself in Central Park, and I want to. I really would love to run. And I meet people who run marathons, and I'm like, oh, wow, and I want to be that, but the truth is I don't love it. So it's not for me. But when you do this, it's like that moment of, am I bullshitting myself, or am I being honest with myself? You will be honest with yourself. So what I encourage you to do is to use this method of trying to rip your fingers apart, and then also sit in the same time afterwards where you already know your truthful answers, and feel, try to feel, and see if you can start to slowly feel the contraction and the expansion. Because once you do and you realize that you can have a conversation with your deepest, highest sense of self, the core of who you are, you're not going to need to ask this person, Google, or get validation or to do what you think you should do. You'll be able to do what you're meant to do and what's true to who you are, because that's when you're going to shine the most, and that's where you're going to find success, and that's where you're going to be guided down the most beautiful paths in this life, is by honoring your intuition. So I hope this gave you guys some tools that you can use and maybe explain a little bit about intuition. But also keep in mind, if anybody ever tells you, oh, well, I'm just intuitive, know that you are too. You just need to work it out a little bit. And if you have any questions about intuition or anything, feel free to email me. I'd be happy to do my best to kind of help you out. But I hope you enjoyed this episode of What Do I Know? Or What Do I Know? Until next time.